Hi my dear students, welcome to English class. Dear students, hope you have read the part of the lesson I will do it until what we have discussed yesterday. We came to know that Narayana Murthy went to Bangalore and wrote examination and the result was in a positive turn and he passed that IIT entrance examination with flying colors. And what will happen when he takes the message to his father? We will discuss today. Now, before that, let's go for a short recap of the lesson what we have discussed until now. Dear friends, now the lesson what we are going to discuss is, I will do it. It is written by Narayana Murthy and she was born on 19th August 1950 and she is an engineering teacher, author, chairperson of Infosys Foundation. And not only that, she is very popular in India's one of the most popular author. And she wrote more than 40 books to her credit and more than 20 languages her books were translated into. And among the many books what she wrote, the most important are Wise and Otherwise, Mahashweta, Dollar Bahu, Here, There and Everywhere, the Sudhamurthy Children's Treasury, Changing India, etc. And for her contribution to the society's service to the society, the government of India has decorated her with the award Padma Shri. And currently this lesson is about the life of Ramarao Narayana Murthy, co-founder of Infosys. And Narayana Murthy was born on 20th August 1946. Now, he was awarded Padma Vibhushan, Legion of Honor, Padma Shri, etc. These are the awards what Narayana Murthy, our young hero, young shy boy, got later in his life, later on in his life. And friends, now until now you know that he wrote IIT entrance examination and he passed that with flying colors and he took the message to his father. Now let us see what will happen in today's episode. Listen to carefully the text, children. The IIT entrance results came. He had passed with a high rank. What a delight for any student. He was thrilled. He went to his father who was reading a newspaper. So the IIT result has come and he passed that with flying colors. It's a jubilant mood. Imagine friends, you might have experienced that your seniors or your brothers and sisters, those who passed class 10th, they will be in a jubilant mood, joyful mood. They will be celebrating their success with your families. You might have been witness to that. And how many times you have succeeded in competitions, in school level competitions, and you have achieved, when you achieved success, you have celebrated that with so much gait and joy. That joy more than that joy multiple times, because Narayana Murthy cracked the toughest IIT entrance examination. Yes, my dear friends, out of the world, majority feel that cracking IIT is the toughest thing. That's the reason why IIT people are in demand. Now, that tough examination, our young boy, Narayana Murthy cracked without any proper coaching, by self-study, by self-hard work. That is an amazing achievement by any standards. So that good news he took to his father. Anna. So in Karnataka, there's a tradition that calling Anna, father. Anna, I have passed the exam. Well done, my boy. Father says, well done, my boy. I want to join IIT. His father stopped reading the paper. He lifted his head, looked at the boy and said with a heavy voice. What kind of a voice he is saying? With a heavy voice. My son, you are a bright boy. You know our financial position. My son, you are a bright boy. You know our financial position. I have 5 daughters to be married off. So, Narayana Murthy has 5 sisters. I have 5 daughters to be married off and 3 sons to educate. I am a salaried person. He is an ordinary school teacher. Narayana Murthy's father is an ordinary school teacher. He is the sole breadwinner of the family. He is a source of income to the family. I have 5 daughters to be married off and 3 sons to educate. I am a salaried person. I cannot afford your expenses at IIT. I am sorry, I cannot afford your expenses at IIT. So it means that the possibility, the chances of Narayana Murthy getting into IIT and studying his dream course IIT is not possible. It's a very, very saddest news to be heard. And with a heavy heart he heard that. Narayana Murthy, with so much pain, he heard that. You can stay in Mysore and study as much as you want. So why father is telling? Because of the financial conditions of the family, father couldn't afford, and the resources, financial resources were so meager, he can't afford that. So father is telling that I can't send you. That's the reason. The main reason is that financial conditions. There's a money problem. And do you think, children, the father will be so happy to say that? No. More than Narayana Murthy's father will be very sad to say that. With heavy heart he will say, with more pain he will say that. But unfortunately sometimes what we think that my father refused to fulfill my wish, my mother refused to fulfill my wish. We say and we express our displeasure, our anger on our parents. That is the bad act of ours. So we need to respect our parents. We need to understand their conditions. First and foremost, we need to look into ourselves whether we are fulfilling our responsibilities perfectly or not. Then we will have a moral right to demand, to request to the parents. So never ever, whenever your parents refuse to fulfill your wish, don't express your displeasure on them. That is bad quality. Okay? So, and father says, whatever you want to study in Mysore, you can study. That. Indeed, it was a difficult situation for any father to say no to his bright son because he is very talented. Imagine, friends, many of us will be getting average marks, maybe 60s or 70s, whatever may be, or less than 80 marks will be getting, but yet we will be in forefront to demand our parents to fulfill all our wishes, which may not be helpful to us. Yet we demand, we create ruckus at home. That is not appreciable. Now, on the other side, you can feel yourself when Narayana Murthy couldn't fulfill his dreams because of the financial conditions, in spite of studying hard, in spite of achieving success, in spite of the most admired IIT seat, getting IIT seat, yet he couldn't get into that. Imagine the pain of a father and imagine pain of Narayana Murthy, young Narayana Murthy. But circumstances were like that. It was common then for the man to be a single earning member with a large family dependent on him. This is true, friends. In the past 30-40 years back, only one person, most of the families, only one person used to earn, and many of all the family members used to depend on that sole income. Nowadays the things have changed. In one family many people, more than one people are working. But in those days it was not the situation. In those days, moreover, joint families used to be there. And running a family, and families were bigger, not micro families like now, like father, mother and 2 kids or 1 kid. Like small families, in those days it was not the case. Majority of the families, more children used to be there. Family members will be more. And feeding them is not an ordinary task. It's very difficult task. And his father was sad that he had to tell the bitter truth to his son. The bitter truth is that he couldn't send him to IIT. That is because of financial inability, because of money problems. But it could not be helped. The boy had to understand the reality. Now this is what you need to understand very clearly, friends. You need to understand the financial conditions of the family. Then you will understand what responsibility lies on your shoulders. Unfortunately, many of children will not understand their financial conditions of the families or their family's financial conditions, and they keep on dreaming and demanding. That causes pain to parents, friends. No parent in the world wants not to fulfill the wishes of their children. But sometimes we need to understand that. His father was sad that he had to tell the bitter truth to his son, but it could not be helped. The boy had to understand reality. The teenager was disappointed. It seemed his dreams had burned to ashes. So his dreams were burned to ashes. So the possibility of getting into IIT is not at all possible, and the doors to IIT closed. He was so near to fulfilling his fondest hope, yet so far. His heart sank in sorrow. So he was, remember the words, he was so near to fulfilling his fondest hope, yet so far. He has almost cleared, he cleared, just getting the fees, raising the fees amount, purchasing a railway ticket and to travel, that's it, joining the IIT Madras, that's it. But he couldn't raise that money also. Narayana Murthy's father couldn't raise that money also. That was the lowest situation of the family. Financial condition of the family was so poor. And his heart sank in sorrow. He felt very bad. Narayana Murthy felt very bad. More than Narayana Murthy, I am sure that Narayana Murthy's father felt bad because he couldn't help his brightest son. You need to understand that, children. He did not reply. He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. He was an introvert by nature. See, students, introvert, extrovert, two or opposite. Now, Narayana Murthy is basically introvert, whereas Sudha Murthy, the current lessons author, Sudha Murthy and Narayana Murthy's wife, is extrovert. Now, extrovert, I'll tell the meaning. His heart was bleeding. His heart was bleeding means it's very sad. He's feeling very sad. But he did not get angry with anybody. In spite of feeling sad, in spite of not able to reach his goal, realize his goal of joining into IIT, he didn't see anything in the family. Now, he is an introvert. Introvert is the one who will not be outward spoken. Whatever pain, happiness, everything comes, they will keep with themselves. They will be hesitant to be outspoken. So they can't go confidently forward in life's situations. They will be calm and quiet and shy. Whereas Sudha Murthy is very aggressive lady, very dominant lady. If somebody criticizes, immediately, bluntly, she will give response. That way, both ends. So Sudha Murthy is very extrovert, and Narayana Murthy, even today, he is, in spite of achieving great success, even today, Narayana Murthy is so humble in general, in his behavior wise. The day came, his classmates were leaving for Madras. Right now, Madras is called Chennai. The day came, his classmates were leaving for Madras, now Chennai. They were taking a train from Mysore to Madras. So Mysore to Madras, they are taking all his friends, those who got a seat in IIT Madras, were going to Chennai, that is Madras. They have shared good years. They have shared good years in school and college together. So there's a bond of years. Years together they studied and a friendship, thick friendship developed among them. And now, because of the course or many opportunities, you will also find that after 10th, you will find many of your classmates will be studying in different schools. Some of you might have studied in your school from LKG to 10th class, or maybe 4 or 5 years, You have studied with your classmates for 5-6 years together or 10 years together. Now you are parting ways. It will be very painful situation, and here the pain is more because though he secured seat in IIT, others those who got guidance from him got seat, and they were able to get into IIT, but in spite of achieving success, he couldn't get into IIT because of the poor condition. Imagine the pain will be more. They have shared good years in school and college together. He went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to them for their future life. So to give send off to his friends, he went to the railway station. At the station, his friends were already there. They were excited and talking loudly. The noise was like the chirping of birds. So all were joyfully talking, all gathered together and joyfully they are talking and about the bright future, what they are going to lead after completing IIT, about their joyous and joyous life in IIT. They are discussing. Chirping of birds. They were all excited and discussing their new hostels, new courses, etc. He was not part of it. He was not part of it. So all were discussing happily, joyfully. So because it is the beginning of a new chapter in their life. So he's just quietly listening to their conversation, standing there quietly and listening to their conversation. So he stood there silently. One of them noticed and said, "You should have made it. You should have made it." It means you should have come, you should have also arranged money and you should have also joined with us. You should also join IIT. But he can't say anything because the financial condition is like that. He did not reply. He only wished all of them. They waved at him as the train slowly left the platform. So he couldn't answer anything. He simply smiled at them. He kept quiet. And he waved. The train about to depart, and then all boarded the train and they waved him. He stood waving to his friends there on the platform. He stood there even after he could no longer see the train or the waving hands. Because his heart is so heavy, he is feeling so sad, but he cannot express it outside. He stood there even after he could no longer see the train or the waving hands. It was the June of 1962 in Mysore city. It was the June of 1962 in Mysore city. Monsoon had set in and it was getting dark. It had started to drizzle. Yet he stood there motionless. So monsoon season and slowly it's started drizzling, yet he stood there motionless because of the pain in his heart. He can't express it and he can't demand his father and he can't digest that painful situation. Just simply, quietly, he stood there motionless. He said to himself, without anger or jealousy. Remember friends, he said to himself, without anger or jealousy, all students from the IITs study well and do big things in life. But it is not the institution. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. What he says, you see? Carefully you listen again. He said to himself, so the entire lessons, the core value you will find in this paragraph, friends. The entire throughout lesson, the lesson I will do its complete lessons, core message, core value you will find in this paragraph. Read it as many times as possible. Read it and try to inculcate the message into your heart. He said to himself, without anger or jealousy, all students from the IITs study well and do big things in life. But it is not the institution, ultimately it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. So what it says, the message he says is, you are enough. You can, if you think, if you are confident, whatever challenges you may face in life, you can overcome those obstacles or challenges successfully. Okay, that is the core message. Don't forget this, friends. Probably he was not aware that he was following the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is yourself. Your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is yourself. Now, read that and see the transformation. See the later stages, how from a humble boy, how slowly he faced challenges and is slowly transforming himself. Now, without knowing him, knowing that he is following the greatest philosophy of his life, the greatest philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. So, read the text until now and listen to this video as many times as possible, friends. And in the next video, we will continue. So, keep working on your dreams and I am wishing you great success in all your endeavors. This is Durga Gunta signing off. Thank you.